Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Diversity of Plants Zone. In this channel, you can get every information related to plants and their diversity throughout the world. Before starting this video, I request you all to please subscribe my YouTube channel. I need your support in the form of your feedbacks, comments, subscription and likes. Today's topic of my video is about morphology of leaf. I have divided this video into many parts and today I will discuss its first part. I hope that you will enjoy this video. So let's start the video. First of all, I will discuss the introduction. Introduction. Plants are an essential part of the ecosystem, and every life on the earth is directly or indirectly dependent on plants. Among the different parts of the plant, the leaf is the most essential. Primarily, the leaves have two functions, and the first function of the leaf is known as photosynthesis, and the second function of the leaf is transpiration. In some plants, it takes up the responsibility of reproduction also. Now the question is, what is meant by the photosynthesis? So photosynthesis is a process by which the green plants and some other organisms use the sunlight to synthesize the nutrients from the carbon dioxide and water. This process is known as photosynthesis. And the next function of the leaf is transpiration. So transpiration is the exhalation of water vapor through the stomata, and plants lose about 90% of their water through the transpiration. Next, I am going to discuss the definition of a leaf. Definition. Leaf is a flattened lateral outgrowth of the stem in the branch, developing from a node and having a bud in its axil. It is normally green in color and manufactures the food for the whole plant. The leaves take up water and carbon dioxide and convert them into the carbohydrates. Now the question is, what is meant by the carbohydrates? So carbohydrates are any of a large group of organic compounds that includes the sugar, starch and cellulose containing hydrogen and oxygen in the same ratio as water, 2:1, and used as the structural materials and for energy storage within living tissues. These are known as carbohydrates. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, leaves always follow an acropetal development and are exogenous in origin. Now the question is, what is meant by the acropetal development? Acropetal means upwards from the base or point of attachment. Leaves are green, flat structures which are borne on stem or on its branches, and they arise from nodes and have buds in their axils. A leaf is green, flattened, lateral appendage of the stem or their branch that develops at the nodes. Leaves are arranged in acropetal succession and originates from the shoot meristem as lateral primordia. Now the question is, what is meant by the primordia? Primordia, an organ structure or tissue in the earliest stage of the development, is known as primordia. All the leaves of the plant constitute the foliage or phylum. Now the next question is, what is meant by the phylum? Phylum, a foliar part of the plant, any organ homologous with the leaf or produced by the metamorphosis of a leaf, that is known as phylum. Next I am going to discuss the meaning of leaf. Meaning of leaf. The leaves are the most conspicuous vegetative organs of the plants, and they are lateral dissimilar outgrowths or appendages of the stem or branches, and the leaves are usually green, flat, expanded organs of limited growth. They develop from the nodes, having invariably buds at their axils and remain arranged in a tropical order. So leaves originate as exogenous outgrowths from the growing point of the stem. These protuberances are called leaf primordia, which by continued growth develop into the mature green leaves, which are known as foliage leaves. Now the question is, what is meant by the protuberances? A thing that protrudes from the something else, or the fact or stage of protruding. This is known as the protuberances. Next I am going to discuss about the characteristics of leaves. Characteristics of leaves. The leaves have following characteristics, and the first characteristic of leaf is these are dissimilar lateral outgrowths of the stem. Second, leaves are exogenous in origin. Third, they are borne on the stem at the nodes. Fourth, leaves generally have axillary bud in their axil. Fifth, unlike stem and root, an apical bud or a regular growing point is absent in leaves. Sixth, the leaf base may have two lateral outgrowths which are known as stipules. Seventh, leaves show limited growth. Eighth, a leaf is differentiated into three parts, and the first part is leaf base, second part is petiole, and third part is the lamina. Ninth, the lamina possesses the prominent vascular strands which are known as veins. The veins transverse through length and breadth of the leaf lamina. 10th, the leaves are generally green because of the presence of chlorophyll, and hence the leaves are the organs of photosynthesis. 11th, a large number of specialized openings which are called stomata are present in the lamina of leaves, through which the exchange of gases and transpiration takes place. Next I am going to discuss about structure of a leaf. Leaves are thin flat organs which are responsible for photosynthesis in the plants, and it develops laterally at the node. It is an important part of the shoot system, and it originates from the shoot apical meristems. Parts of a leaf. Parts of a leaf. A typical leaf of Ficus religiosa, which is also known as peepal, has a broad thin flat structure which is called the lamina. The thin stalk below the lamina is called as the petiole, and the lamina possesses a network of veins. The veins have both xylem and phloem elements which are continuous with similar tissues of the stem to those of the petiole. A strong vein, which is known as the midrib, runs centrally through the leaf blade from its base to the apex. This produces the thinner lateral veins, which in turn give rise to the still thinner veins or veinlets. The lamina is the most important part of the leaf, since this is the seat of food manufacture for the whole plant. Morphology of leaf. So this is the structure or part of the leaf. This is a leaf of ficus religiosa, which is also known as petiole, and it is showing the various parts of the leaf. You can see in this figure that this is the leaf apex or leaf tip. In the center you can see this is the prominent vein of the leaf, and this is known as midrib. And these are the veins of the leaf. This is the margin of the leaf. A thin stalk below the lamina is known as the petiole. So this is a thin stalk, which is also known as petiole. This is the leaf base, and this is a small bud in the axil of the leaf, which is known as axillary bud, as shown in the figure. Generally, leaf base, petiole and lamina together form the main parts of a leaf. So the first one is leaf base. I will discuss it further. This is the part where a leaf attaches to the stem, and leaf base has two small leaf-like structure which is known as stipules. In plants like the paddy, wheat and the other monocotyledons, this leaf base is wide and masks the stem. Next part of the leaf is petiole. So petiole is long, thin stalk that links the leaf blade to the stem. And the third part of the leaf is lamina. Lamina, also known as the leaf blade. It is green, flat structure of the leaves, and it consists of a small branched vein and veinlets. The vein that runs along the middle of the lamina is known as the midrib, and midrib divides the surface of lamina into two. These veins and veinlets give the rigidity to the leaf blade and help in the transpiration of water and other substances. So morphology of leaf, this is a diagram of leaf which is representing the different parts of leaf, and you can see in this figure very clearly this is the apex of the leaf or tip of the leaf, and this is the margin of the leaf. These are small veins you can see here, and this is the prominent vein in the center of the leaf which divides the leaf into two. So this is known as midrib. At the last you can see this is the base of the leaf. So apex, margin, veins, midrib and base, all of these constitute the blade of the leaf. And the next is the thin stalk of the leaf, and this stalk is known as the petiole. And in the last you can see that these are the small stipules as shown in this figure. A typical foliage leaves consist of three parts, and the first part is leaf blade or lamina, which is green flattened portion, and that is concerned mainly with the photosynthesis or the preparation of food. Second part of the leaf is leaf stalk or petiole, and leaf stalk and petiole raises the lamina to expose it to sunlight. And the third part of the leaf is leaf base. Leaf base is the part of the leaf through which it is attached to the stem. So again, morphology of leaf, these are the different parts of a leaf, and the parts of the leaf includes, first, this is the tip or apex of the leaf, this is margin, this is the prominent vein which divides the leaf into two halves, and that is known as the midrib. These are more small veins, and these are the venules. All of these constitute the leaf blade, and this is the stalk-like portion or thin portion of the leaf which is known as petiole. This is leaf base, and this is the axil of the leaf, and again this is the stem. Now the question is, what is meant by the venules? So these are the vascular tissues which are composed of xylem and phloem cells, embedded mainly in the parenchyma and sometimes sclerenchyma cells. The outer layer of veins is made up of bundle sheath cells, leaf veins, and they enter the leaf as a single vein, and inside it they form the multiple branches forming the venules. So these are called as venules. Mostly the leaves are petiolate. The petiole is present as in the leaf of people. So it means that if the petiole is present in the leaf, such as in the leaf of the people, so that leaf is known as petiolate. In the certain plants, the petiole is absent and the leaf lamina is directly attached to the stem, and such leaf is termed as sessile, as in the leaf of sonchus. In few instances, the petiole is attached to the middle of the blade on its lower surface, and such leaves are called as petalate. In some plants, the base of the petiole may be swollen. So this swollen portion or this swollen part is called as the pelvinus, as in the Mimosa pudica, which is also known as touch me not. Petiolate. The leaf blade is situated on the petiole. For example, the hibiscus, ficus, etc. Next is the sessile, without a petiole or stalk. For example, in the ixora. And the third one is the subsessile, having a short stalk. For example, in polygonum. So, morphology of leaf. This is the petiole, and if the petiole is present in the leaf, such condition is known as petiolate, as in the leaf of the people you can see in this figure. So again, these are the different parts of the people tree leaf, and the first part is leaf apex, and which is also known as leaf tip. This is the prominent vein and known as midrib, and these are smaller veins. This is margin of leaf, this is stalk or thin portion of leaf, which is known as petiole. This is leaf base. Leaf base is the portion of the leaf through which it is attached to the stem, and this is a small axillary bud which is present in the axil of the leaf. So these are the different parts of the people tree leaf. Morphology of leaf. The petiole is absent, as in the leaf of the sonchus, and in this case the petiole is absent. So petiole is absent. In that case, the leaf is known as sessile. So you can see in the figure, this is the leaf of a Sonchus, and in this figure the petiole is absent. Leaf of Sonchus. Again you can see this is a sessile leaf because petiole is absent in this figure. The third type, petulate leaves. These are the petulate leaves in the morphology of leaf. Again you can see these are petulate leaves. So this is the Mimosa pudica. Mimosa pudica, which is also known as the touch-me-not. In this figure you can see that this is the pulvinus in Mimosa pudica, which is also known as touch-me-not. In this figure you can see the different parts. So the first part is the rachis. This is a stalk-like portion which is known as rachis. And the next is the rachelia. Rachelia. This is the pinna or pinule. Pinule or leaflet you can see here, and this is petiole and this is pulvinus, the swollen portion of the leaf, which is known as pulvinus. So the structure of the Mimosa pudica or touch-me-not, you can see clearly in this figure that this is stem, this is pinna, these are pinules, and again this is the swollen portion which is known as pulvinus, stalk-like portion petiole, this is rachis, and this is the secondary pulvinus, and this is the tertiary pulvinus as shown in the figure. Next I am going to discuss the types of leaves. Types of leaves, there are following types of leaves, and the first type of leaf is the foliage leaves. Foliage leaves, they are ordinary leaves which perform the function of photosynthesis and respiration. These are normal green leaves of a plant which are meant for photosynthesis, gaseous exchange and transpiration. Second type of the leaf is known as cotyledonary or cotyledonary leaves, and these are present in seeds and serve the purpose of storage of food and act as the first photosynthetic leaves of plants. These are embryonic leaves which are born at the node of embryo axis, which is known as the tigellum or tigellum. They come out at the first leaf during the germination, and the third part of the leaf is scale leaves. Scale leaves, these are the small undeveloped leaves and usually sessile, without petiole and rarely green. They are protective in nature and they develop on many underground stems such as the rhizomes, ginger, stem tubers like potato, etc. In the scaly bulbs like the lily, they store the food and they become thick and fleshy. And these are the dry, membranous, non-green leaves, and they appear on buds and underground stem. So the fourth type of the leaf is bracts or bracteoles, and these leaves of the flowering shoots are known as bracts. The leaves of flowering shoots are known as bracts, and they are usually small and these are scale-like. They bear the flowers in their axils, and some flowers bear the small bracts in their stalks, and which are known as bracteoles. Fifth type of the leaf is floral leaves, and these are specialized leaves which are arranged on a short shoot axis, which is known as thalamus. On thalamus, these are arranged in circles or in the form of rolls, and they are termed as sepals, petals, stamens, and carpels. And these are modified leaves which are borne on thalamus of flower. For example, sepals and petals. Sixth type of the leaf is sporophylls, and these leaves bear the spores or sporangia. For example, stamens, which is known as microsporophylls, and carpels, which are known as megasporophylls. Now, the question is, what is meant by the sporangia? Sporangia in ferns and lower plants are receptacle in which the asexual spores are produced. That is known as the sporangia. Next type is the prophylls. So, prophylls, these are the first few leaves of a stem that differ from the rest, for example, in the citrus and pteridophytes. So, these are the first leaves which are borne on a branch, and these are simpler in structure than ordinary leaves. So, types of the leaves. First type of the leaf is known as foliage leaves, which are ordinary green leaves and which are mainly concerned with the gaseous exchange, transpiration, and photosynthesis. So these are ordinary leaves which are known as foliage leaves as shown in the figure. Second type of the leaf is known as cotyledonary leaves. Cotyledonary leaves, and these are mainly the first leaf or one of the first pair or wall of leaves developed by the embryo of a seed plant or some lower plants such as in ferns. So these are known as cotyledonary leaves. Third type of the leaf is known as scale leaves, and scale leaves are mostly present in rhizomes such as in ginger or in underground stems. You can see in this figure, this is a figure of rhizome or ginger. You can see that this is a bud, knot. These are scale leaves which are protective in nature sometimes, and this is internot, and these are adventitious root as shown in the figure. Next type of the leaf is the bracts or bracteoles. So this is a bract, this is pedicel, bracteole, and this is articulation as shown in the figure. Next are the floral leaves, modified and specialized form of the leaves. You can see in this figure that these are the different parts of the flower. First part is the petal, and petal is mostly concerned with the pollination, and the next is the stamen. Stamen is used for male reproduction, or male reproductive organ of the flower are included in stamen. So stamen includes the two other organs, and this is the anther and this is its filament. This is sepal. This is green in color and it helps in the protection of flower buds. This is stem. This is the receptacle, and receptacle is responsible for the generation of flower organs. This is carpel. So carpel is known as the female reproductive organ, and it is concerned with the female reproduction, and it includes the stigma, style, pollen tube. This is ovary, and this is ovule as shown in the figure. So these are the sporophylls. Now the question is, what is meant by the sporophylls? A sporophyll is a leaf that bears the sporangia, and both microphylls and megaphylls can be sporophylls. In heterosporious plants, the sporophylls bear either megasporangia and thus are called as megasporophylls or microsporangia. So these are called as the microsporophylls. So in this figure you can see that this is a sporophyll and this is sorus. Now the question is, what is meant by the sorus? So sorus is a plural word or sori in botany. Plural word is sori in botany, and these are brownish or yellowish cluster of spore producing structures of sporangia, and usually these are located on the lower surface of the fern leaves. A sorus may be protected during the development by a scale or flap of tissues which are known as indusium. So next type of the leaf is known as prophylls. So prophyll, now the question is, what is meant by the prophyll? The frequently specialized or reduced leaf which are produced at the first node of a new shoot, or a plant structure resembling a leaf as a bracteole, or consisting of a modified or rudimentary leaf as a foliar primordium. So this is a shoot with a prophyll, this is stem, this is prophyll, node and leaf sheath as shown in the figure. Again these are prophylls as shown in the figure. Next I am going to discuss about the stipules. So stipules, these are a pair of lateral outgrowths developed at the base of a leaf. When the stipules are present, the leaves are called stipulate, and when absent, exstipulate condition is present. And their functions are to protect the young leaves in the bud, and when green, to carry on photosynthesis. The stipules are of various kinds, such as first kind is known as scaly stipules. So scaly stipules, these are small, membranous as in people. Second type is known as the foliaceous stipules. These are leaf-like as in the edible pea, which is also known as the Pisum stivum. Third type is known as the tendrilar stipules. These are modified into tendrils, which serve as climbing organs as in the smilex. Fourth type is the spinous stipules, which are modified into spines as in kikar. Or kikar is also known as the Acacia arabica. Stipules, so these are the stipules you can see in this figure as shown in the figure. These are stipules you can see clearly in this figure. And next I'm going to discuss the scaly stipules. So these are the scaly stipules. Scaly stipules are small and membranous stipules, and these stipules are mostly present in people as shown in the figure. So these are scaly stipules in people you can see in this figure. So the next type of the stipules is the foliaceous stipules. So foliaceous stipules, these are leaf-like, and these are present in edible pea, and the example of these are Pisum stivum. These are foliaceous stipules as shown in the figure. So you can see in this figure, these are foliaceous stipules in pea, and the example is the Pisum stivum as shown in the figure. Next type of the stipules is the tendrilar stipules. So tendrilar stipules, it means that these are modified into small tendrils and which serve as the climbing organs, and these are mostly present in the smilex. Tendrilar stipules in smilex as shown in the figure. Next type of the stipule is the spiny stipule. So, as the name suggests, that these are modified into spines, and these are mostly present in kikar, and the kikar is known as the Acacia arabica. So these are the spinous stipules in kikar or Acacia arabica as shown in the figure. Next type of the stipule is the adnate stipules. So these are the two lateral stipules that grow along the petiole up to a certain height, adhering to it and making it somewhat winged in appearance, as in rose. And the next and the sixth type of the stipules is the originates stipules, and they form a hollow encircling the stem from the node up to a certain height of the internode in front of the petiole, for example in polygonum. So in this figure you can see that these are the adnate stipules. This is the leaflet, and in the last you can see that this is the stipule. So adnate stipules, these are two lateral stipules that grow along the petiole, up to a certain height, adhering to it and making it somewhat like a winged appearance, like a wing in appearance, and these stipules are mostly present in the rose. So these are adnate stipules in rose as shown in the figure. Next type of the stipules is the originates stipules. So in the figure you can see that this is a tube-like stipule which is covering the stem, and this is leaf. So originates stipules, they usually form a hollow tube encircling the stem from the node up to a certain height of the internode in front of the petiole. And the example of these stipules is the polygonum. So this is the originates stipules in polygonum as shown in the figure. Next type of the stipule is the ligules. So these are the membranous or hairy structures occurring at the junction of the leaf blade and sheathing bases, as in grasses. And the eighth type of the stipules is the bud scales, and they are scaly leaves which encloses and protect the leaf buds, and these are mostly present in the banyan. So these are ligules. In this figure you can see that this is blade of leaf, this is sheath of leaf, this is ligule, and this is the auricle. So ligules, these are mostly the membranous or hairy structures occurring at the junction of the leaf and leaf blade and sheathing bases, and these are mostly found inside the grasses. So these are ligules in grasses. You can see this is a leaf blade, this is ligule, this is sheath of the leaf, node, stem, this is auricle, this is collar, and this is new leaf, these are roots, this is the stolon, and this is rhizome as shown in the figure. Ligules in the grasses, so you can see here that this is the inflorescence. This is leaf blade, collar, this is ligule, these are auricles. So this is the crown, this is tila, and these are rhizome, this is stolon, and this is a new daughter plant as shown in the figure. So the next is stipulate. So the leaf with the stipules, for example in the rose and ixora. And next is exstipulate, the leaves having no stipules, and that condition is known as the exstipulate, and such condition or exstipulate condition is mostly present in the Ipomia. The stipules may be of several types, and these are as follows. Normally, two stipules are developed at the base of a leaf petiole. They may be foliaceous, for example in the Lathyrus, free lateral, for example in China rose, adnate, for example in rose, interpetiolar, for example in ixora, spurgula, spiny, for example in the acacia, euphorbia splendens, tendrillor, for example in the smilex. So in this figure you can see the different types of the stipules are here. In the figure A you can see that this is the originates stipule of Polygonum. In the figure B you can see that this is the adnate stipule of rose. In the figure C you can see that this is the interpetiolar stipule of the ixora, as shown in the figure. In this figure you can see there are two different types of the stipules. In the figure A you can see that this is the spinous stipule of the ziziphus, and the second figure B you can see that this is a tendrillor stipule of the smilex, as shown in the figure. So again these are the different types of the leaves with the stipules. So in the figure A you can see that this is the blade of the leaf, margin of the leaf, and this is petiole. And as no stipule is present, so this condition is known as exstipulate. Exstipulate means no stipule. Second figure you can see this is stipulate condition because stipule is present. This is midrib, vein and stipule. In the third figure you can see this is a sessile condition with no petiole. It means petiole is absent. So this is sessile condition. In the figure D you can see that this is a clasping base. So next I am going to discuss about the leaf base of the sessile leaves. Leaf base of the sessile leaves. First is the connate. Two sessile opposite leaves meeting each other across the stem and fusing together, for example in the Lonicera flava. Next is the amphixical, clasping or surrounding the stem as the base of leaf, for example in the Sonchus. Third is the auriculate, leaf with expanded bases surrounding the stem, for example in the Calotropis. Next is decrunt, having the leaf base prolonged down the stem as a winged expansion or rip, for example in the Legera pterodonta. Next condition is perfoliate, a leaf with the basal lobes so united as to appear as if the stem ran through it, for example in the Aloe perfoliata. So in this figure you can see that this is the leaf base of sessile leaves. In this figure you can see that this is the Lonicera flava. as shown in the figure. These are the connate leaves in the Lonicera flava. So, connate leaves are two sessile opposite leaves which are meeting each other across the stem and fusing together, and the example of these leaves are Lonicera flava. Next is the sonchus, leaf base of the sessile leaves, and this is the sonchus as shown in the figure. So, amplexical leaves in sonchus. So, amplexical means the clasping or surrounding the stem as the base of leaf, and the example of these leaves are sonchus. Leaf base of the sessile leaf, so this is the calotropis. In this figure you can see that these are the auriculate leaves in calotropis. So auriculate leaves are mostly leaf with expanded bases which are surrounding the stem, and example of these leaves are calotropis. Again, these are the auriculate leaves in the calotropis. Leaf base of the sessile leaves. So this is the Ligera tarodonta. So decurrent leaves are present in Ligera tarodonta. Decurrent leaves are mostly having leaf base prolonged down the stem as a winged expansion or rib, and the example of these leaves are the Ligera tarodonta as shown in the figure. Again, these are the decurrent leaves of the Ligera tarodonta. This is Alloperfoliata, leaf base of sessile leaves as shown in the figure. This is the perfoliate leaves of Alloperfoliata. So perfoliate leaves are mostly leaves with the basal lobes so united as to appear as if the stem ran through it. For example, in the Alloperfoliata. Leaf base of the sessile leaves. So leaf base of sessile leaves, there are different types, and in the figure A you can see that this is a decurrent leaf of Ligera. In the figure B you can see this is auriculate leaf of calotropis. In the figure C you can see this is the amplexical leaf of the Amelia. And the figure D you can see that this is the connate leaf of the Lonicera. And in the figure E you can see that this is perfoliate leaf as shown in the figure. So this is the Acacia nilotica. The stipules are modified into spines. In this figure you can see that this is a leaf, stem, petiole, and these are the stipular spines. That stipules are modified into the spines, and that are known as stipular spines. This is Euphorbia splendens. So Euphorbia splendens, the stipules are modified into spines again. This is the inflorescence. These are leaves. These are the stipular spines, and this is stem as shown in the figure. So next I am going to discuss the most important topic, which is known as the phyllotaxy of leaves. Phyllotaxy of leaves. So first of all, I am going to discuss that what is meant by the phyllotaxis. Phyllotaxis, the arrangement of leaves on stem, is known as the phyllotaxis. Phylla means leaves and taxis means their arrangement. The object of the phyllotaxis is to avoid overcrowding so that all the leaves get the maximum light for photosynthesis. And there are two main types of phyllotaxis. First type is the spiral and the second type is the cyclic. So the first type is spiral phyllotaxis. When the leaves are present singly on each knot, such an arrangement of leaf is called as spiral, and the leaves are said to be alternate, and these leaves are mostly found in mustard and sunflower, etc. Second type is the cyclic phyllotaxis. If the two or more leaves are present at each knot, such an arrangement of leaves is known as cyclic. And if only two leaves arise at each knot, they are described as opposite. When the opposite leaves born at any one knot and are parallel to those of the upper knot, they are said to be opposite and superposed, as in jamun, which is also known as the Eugenia jambulana. If opposite leaves at any one knot are at right angles to those at the upper or lower knot, they are described as opposite and decussate. As in mint, mint is also known as Ocimum basilicum, Niaspo. Ocimum basilicum is also known as Niaspo, and Calotropis is also known as Uck, etc. If more than two leaves are present at each knot and are arranged in a circle around it, they are said to be rolled or verticillate, as in the oleander. So, phyllotaxis, this is the phyllotaxis of the leaves or arrangement of the leaves as shown in the figure. First type of the phyllotaxis is the spiral phyllotaxis, and spiral phyllotaxis is mostly found in mustard as shown in the figure. Again, this is a spiral phyllotaxis in the sunflower. This is opposite cyclic phyllotaxis or opposite arrangement of the leaves as shown in the figure. This is opposite cyclic phyllotaxis. Again, this is opposite phyllotaxis. Opposite superposed phyllotaxis. So you can see in this figure that this is opposite and superposed condition. Next is the opposite superposed phyllotaxis in jamun, and jamun is also known as Eugenia jambulana. So this is again the opposite decussate phyllotaxis. This is opposite and decussate phyllotaxis as shown in figure. Again, this is opposite and decussate phyllotaxis. This is opposite and decussate phyllotaxis in mint. So, as shown in the figure, this is opposite and decussate phyllotaxis in Ocimum basilicum, which is also known as Niaspo. This is opposite and decussate phyllotaxis in Calotropis, which is known as Uck. So this is a rolled phyllotaxis. Rolled phyllotaxis as shown in the figure. This is again a rolled phyllotaxis as shown in the figure. Next condition is verticillate phyllotaxis as shown in the figure. This is rolled or verticillate phyllotaxis, which is found in Alstonia. So this is rolled or verticillate phyllotaxis in Oleander. This is rolled or verticillate phyllotaxis in Nerium, Oleander, as shown in the figure. This is rolled or verticillate phyllotaxis in Nerium, Oleander. So these are different types of phyllotaxis. The first is alternate, second is spiral, opposite, and rolled. Again, the types of phyllotaxis: alternate spiral, alternate distichous, opposite decussate, unrolled. Again, the different types of phyllotaxis: alternate, opposite decussate, opposite superposed, and rolled. Types of phyllotaxis again are here: cyclic, alternate, opposite decussate, opposite superposed, and rolled or verticillate. Different kinds of phyllotaxis are here. First is alternate, second is opposite, superposed, third is the rolled, and fourth is the opposite and decussate. Phyllotaxis, the patterns of arrangement of leaves on the stem, are called phyllotaxy. So plants show the three types of phyllotaxy: alternate, opposite, and rolled types of phyllotaxy. When only a single leaf develops at each node alternatively, it is an alternate type of phyllotaxy, and that is found in China rose. When a pair of leaves develop at each node opposite to each other, it is called opposite phyllotaxy. An example is guava plants. When more than two leaves develop at the nodes to form a wall of leaf, it is called walled phyllotaxy, and the example is Alstonia. So these are the different types of phyllotaxis. In the figure A, you can see that this is an alternate type. An example is China rose. Second is the opposite type of phyllotaxy. An example is guava. And in the third, you can see that this is a walled type of phyllotaxis, and the example is Alstonia. Alternate, a single leaf arising at each node, and the example is Hibiscus rosa sinensis. Opposite, on different sides of the axis with the bases at the same level. Next type is opposite and decussate, in pairs at right angles to one another. An example is Calotropis. Opposite and superposed, a pair of leaves that stands directly over the lower pair in the same plane, and the example is guava. Rolled, more than two leaves arranged in circle round an axis. An example is Spergula or Alstonia. So again, the phyllotaxis of leaves. In the figure A, you can see this is our alternate condition. In the figure B, you can see that this is opposite and decussate. In the figure C, you can see that this is a rolled leaves of Nerium. In the figure D, this is the rolled leaves of Alstonia. Next, I am going to discuss about the incission. Incission. The attachment of leaves to the stem or branches is called insertion, and the leaves may be: first one is the radicle, proceeding from or near the root, for example, onion, radish, etc. Leaves appearing to come off from the root but really arising from very short stem at the ground level. Such leaves usually form a rosette, as in carrot, radish, tulip, etc. Second type is choline, pertaining to the stem, for example, palms. These are present on main stem, as in sunflower. Third type is ramal. These leaves developed on the branches, as in peepal, which is also known as the ficus religiosa, shisham, dalbergia, sissu, etc. Fourth type is the choline and ramal, pertaining to the main stem as well as its branches. For example, mango, if the leaves are present both on main stem and the branches, this condition is known as ramal and choline. So these are the radical leaves. Radical leaves proceeding from or near the root. So these leaves are mostly present in onion and radish. Radical leaves as in onion, as shown in the figure. Radical leaves in radish. These are radical leaves. This is fleshy taproot, and these are secondary roots. Radical leaves in the carrot. Radical leaves in tulip. Next is the choline leaves in palm. So choline leaves which are pertaining to the stem, these are mostly found in the palms. Choline leaves in sunflower. So the next condition is the ramel leaves in the people or ficus religiosa. So these leaves developed on branches as in people or ficus religiosa. Ramel leaves in the Shisham, Delbergia sessu. Next is the choline and ramel leaves in mango trees. So pertaining to the main stem as well as its branches, such as in the mango. If you like my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon as well for further notifications. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for your time and appreciation.